many portions of India, the people retire to caves in order to become perfectly silent to work out a definite conclusion about certain determining factors. In every instant where these reports are available, it is found that when they go to the place where they are perfectly silent to conditions around them, they come into the greatest activity of life. They see further as they project their vision further. They see completely through the material or physical to what they say is that perfect condition wherein all activity is harmonious. Then that which they see as true universally is merely related to the world of things. It is not that the world is subjugated to the spiritual, but merely related to its original state. And then the perfection of the spiritual world is immediately manifested. That activity in harmonious accord works perfectly under their guidance. In reality, this is the same procedure which all men follow in the application of any principle. It is first necessary to leave the outer forms through which principle is expressed alone until there is clear discernment of the movement of the principle involved. This movement of principle is then related to the outer form, and we have harmony and rhythm in music, correct answer to problems, perfect architectural structures, perfect paintings, and perfect statues. All of these manifestations are brought about because of the individual's ability to identify himself with underlying reality, and this reality is then brought forth through the form with the same beauty and harmony that is seen in principle. Now, these same people will tell you that it is not necessary for each individual to become as they are in order to get into that harmonious relation, but that it can be brought about in the ordinary walks of life. They purposely take that attitude to find out what happens, to come to a definite conclusion. After that conclusion is reached, they are able to teach others, but they do not teach others to do as they have done. They teach that it may be made practical, that it is not necessary to spend long years in meditation to bring this about because they have found a shorter method or an easier way. That the instant you become silent, you are one with harmony or accord. Thus, from that very moment, you begin to progress. The attitude of thought changes from turmoil to harmony, strife to not evident. Consequently, you have raised your body's vibrations to the vibration where strife does not exist. If one is able to accomplish that condition, all can. But all need to not take the long and arduous way. Once a fact is revealed, one needs but to accept that fact. The thought of the masters is, we have gone through the process of making the discovery. We know what the determining factors are, and the rest of mankind need not make the discovery for themselves, but may accept what has been revealed. Consequently, it is not necessary for the mass to sit in samadhi. They express it by stating that one who sits in samadhi is able to teach others what he has discovered. All may go through the practice of samadhi if they wish, although it is unnecessary for this reason. Through accepting the conditions which have been revealed, that acceptance brings about a certain leveling influence, a certain vitalizing condition wherein one sees more readily. By beginning with the revealed knowledge, one is more easily adjusted to the silence or the harmonious conditions and facts about him. Therefore, by following the conclusions of those who have gone through the preliminary steps, he moves forward directly into the shamadic state. Those who have gone through to this state are the way showers or teachers. As they say, it is not necessary to follow the teacher step by step, because they have cleared the way. They have realized the condition, which has then become general, and the projection has opened the way for all. This is the truth back of the vicarious atonement of Jesus. He, as the way shower, explained that we are one with the Father, even as he was one with the Father. We do not have to fight our way back to this state, for he revealed it as an established fact. Our work is but to assume as being true what he proved as true. We do not have to prove that the sum of all the angles of a triangle is equal to 2 right angles after it has once been proved. When it is a revealed fact, all we have to do is accept it. If that were not true, each one would have to prove for himself every movement of mathematics, mechanics, art, etc. But when others have proved these things, we vicariously enter into their labors, begin where they left off, and proceed to the next condition under that principle. The larger the group, or the greater the number of persons in a group, the greater the influence. The greater the influence, the greater the impetus always. Therefore, it is said that if a group of 100 would sit in samadhi, or complete silence, that influence created would suffice for thousands. Therefore, thousands would be elevated to a greater enlightenment by that 100. This is where the yogis play a very vital part. They purposely give up a certain portion of their lives to putting out that influence, especially the influence for body perfection. And it is often said that it is not necessary for all people to go through the system of yogi to perfect the body, because they have gone through and made that perfection possible for all. That is what was expressed when Jesus gave his life upon the cross. They, as well as Jesus, knew that they were not giving up their lives. They were giving that certain portion to a higher expression, that all might see and follow. They became the way showers or teachers. Therefore, the people who could progress would go further and in greater strides. These are the reasons why it is said that it is not necessary to go through all the many stages of yogi. Many accomplish these steps in just a few hours because added impetus is given by those who have given greater time to service and greater impetus for that service. There are certain select groups who are working along that line all the time. That influence can be picked up as it is radiated out from different groups and different centers all of the time. This influence is picked up on the spiritual plane just as radio music is picked up on the electrical plane. But as radio music picked up from the electrical plane is heard and felt on the material and mental planes, so are these spiritual influences manifest upon every plane below, for it is all-inclusive. It is all a spiritual plane, one universal plane, working in perfect unison with itself when the individual awakens to see it as it truly is. The contact is made not by seeking the masters or their influences, but by seeking the plane of harmonious thought and spiritual influence, which permits all time and space and in which they work. Which permeates all time and space and in which they work. A line may seemingly have two opposites, but bring those opposites together and you have a circle, and the opposites have thus disappeared. Extend the circle and you have a perfect sphere, which is complete, synchronized relationship of all elements. As Millikan said, the cosmic becomes the globe. Then you have completed the circle in every way and brought about perfect unity. The point becomes the line becomes the circle becomes the globe. This is true of every line of thought, and through the continual process of relating all things to the one, instead of separating everything, the point of unity or oneness is established. This is one-pointedness. When the individual attains concentration in thought, he enters the shamadic condition, and that is where he begins to accomplish, when he reaches that one-pointedness. It should be remembered, however, that this concentration or one-pointedness is an expanded state of mind and not a contracted state. It comes through the principle of relating all things rather than through the mistaken idea of excluding anything. Samadhi permits the individual to see directly through to the whole, the truth or principle. This eliminates what the Western world teaches about the conscious and subconscious minds. In reality, there is but one mind, and that we could call the superconscious. That is where you bring the conscious and subconscious into accord. You are then of the whole. It is complete consciousness. Then there is no division whatever, and if we make no division, we are in complete conscious accord.